Ubiest of the tubiest. The best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus, so I hope you guys can hear me well. I got the windows down. It's a little warm, you know, here in Houston. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, but guys, just be patient. It's coming. I've got big things coming here really, really soon. And I promise you're gonna get enough of me. For sure. Today, I'm gonna answer well, it's actually two questions. I got it in email. And listen, just so you guys know, you can help me out. It wasn't in this case, with the exception of the question he asks. And I don't mind the questions. I'll you know, if it's too in depth of a question to answer with you know, one-on-one with email, then I'll just do what I'm going to do today and make a little video for it. And because it's information I think the masses could use. Okay. Outside of that, listen, guys, I respond to emails and post as quickly as I can, but it gets really difficult if you you know, if you send me War and Peace. If you send me a novel for an email, I'm going to be really slow to get to that. I can answer, you know, 20 just in a period of time it takes me to read some of the emails I get. Okay, and so I'm gonna respond to the 20 and not be near as responsive to someone who sent me a super long email. Guys and gals, listen, you know, much love to you. It's not that I don't want to give you time, because you guys, I take up a lot of y'all's, you know. So it's not that. It's just, you know, 8,000 of y'all, 9,000 of y'all. That's subscribed, by the way. It don't even mean to the ones that aren't, that send me messages. So I'm trying to respond to everybody. That's very difficult when I get one super long. That's just the whole thing. It's not that I don't want to answer it, okay? All right. That being said, let's answer today's question. He says, this is Jeff Daly. He said, enjoy your videos and your content. Always sound advice and usable information that can be applied to life in general. Thank you. He says, study for my hazmat. Does Melton haul hazmat loads? And yes. And I have a hazmat endorsement on my license, and I do pull hazmat stuff for Melton. And I don't really remember actually carrying anything outside of like roofing glue and I really don't remember hauling anything other than that. So, you know, it's not like we're going to we don't carry things that are like highly explosive or anything like that, you know. I mean, we carry construction things for construction, you know. So nothing crazy. All right. Next question is, how do you structure your day based on the loads you get? And I base my day based on the loads I get. And so that question is gonna be kind of loaded. He says, I'm looking at flatbed to limit the late overnight hours and work early AM times to see early evening. He says, okay, basically he wants to work maybe 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. for example. Okay, so basically what his question is it possible to operate daily in those hours, 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. And It is on days you can control. So the days that you can control would be days like days that you are not picking up and dropping off. So Monday is a big drop-off day. Okay, so what I'm saying is, and I'm assuming he's like an OTR driver. Okay, well, even regional drivers. Okay, I pick up a load on Friday and I drop it off. I pick up a load on Friday and I drop it off on Monday morning. OTR drivers, generally speaking, will do the same. They're gonna have a load on Friday that they drop off, 1,500, 2,000 miles later on Monday. Okay, so Friday you're gonna get empty from your previous load, whatever day you picked that up. Friday you're gonna get empty Friday morning, and then sometimes that day you're gonna pick up again. Generally speaking, I hope you get what I'm saying. Generally speaking, you're gonna be reloaded before 3 p.m. Okay, so it's Friday at 3 p.m. you're loaded with your load that you're gonna drop off on Monday. So Saturday, for instance, Sunday, for instance, those 2 days you are not having to drop off and deliver. So you would have parked Friday. So you want to get up at 5 a.m. So if you by 7 p.m. Friday night, you're gonna be parked so that you can wake up, or even better than that, like 6:45 or something like that. So you want to wake up and start your clock, put yourself on duty for pre-trip load check, tire check for 4:45. Means you'd have to be in the bed at 6:45 p.m. You're gonna do your pre-trip, and somewhere near 5:15, 5:30, whatever time you're done with your pre-trip, then you can take off. Now, if you take off at 5 a.m., you can run it until 4 p.m. Not a problem. You had control of that. You're gonna have to run, okay, because you got a lot of miles to eat up, and it's 11 hours, okay? That 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. is 11 hours. That's just your drive clock. But you also got to take in consideration, you're gonna have to take a 30-minute break for your DOT to come back right after 8 hours. If you had the stamina to drive 8 consecutive hours, and you started at, I'm gonna give you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, noon, 1, you're gonna have to stop for at least 30 minutes, okay? And then, so let's say you did, everything was exact, and then it's 1 o'clock, you shut down for 30 minutes, and 1:30 exact, you took off, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. So you didn't make that 4 o'clock. That's running out your clock, okay? You don't have to run your clock out. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Kind of depends on what the traffic was like. So if you didn't run your clock out and you drove 10 and a half hours, you stop at 4 o'clock. Now you met your goal. Now, what I just described to you is a perfect scenario. So when you say that you want to do that, you can get somewhat close to it, I wouldn't count on that being your norm. It just doesn't always work out quite like that, and it depends on where you're gonna park when you're done with your drive. When you plan your trip, the first thing I do is plan 500 miles, okay? As an OTR driver, okay, I'm gonna plan 500 miles. So I'm gonna look 500 miles up my journey and find out where I'm gonna park. I'm also gonna look at what time of day it's gonna be. So, you know, if I took off at 10 o'clock at night, then, you know, I'm gonna be looking pretty good, you know, at about 8 o'clock in the morning, because I don't walk anywhere. You see? I have a problem with that. But if I start at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, now I'm parking at 5. Okay? Your available parking is going to be look a little different than it would have been if you'd have drove overnight. You follow me? All right. So I'm gonna pick a spot depending on what time I'm leaving, where I'm gonna park. It might be a you know, I like to stop at Love's. I like to fuel at Love's. I like to you know, get up and get a you know, a coffee or whatever I'm drinking in the morning. I've kind of cut way back on coffee, but anyways, you know, what kind of amenities do you want? You know, I like to stop at mom and pop's truck stops. They don't have to be Love's, TA, Petro, Pilot, none of those. They don't have to be that. I'm looking for a spot where I can park my truck and I ain't got a bunch of people knocking on their door all night long trying to beg for money and stuff. You know, stuff. So take these things in consideration. So now I found where I'm going to park 500 miles away. That's my target. And I'm going to drive that day to reach that goal. Things are going to happen in the midst of it that you may have to change your plan, but have one. Okay, so it's going to depend on a lot of that. Sometimes you have to run 450 miles because 500 miles there's not a spot, right? Which means now the next day you pushing it, man. You gotta go, you know, you're gonna have to try to stretch out that 500. You gotta get there. You cannot miss it the next day, because now you only did 900 miles, you know, in 950 miles, something like that, in 2 days. Remember I told you you got a 2,000-mile run they give you on Friday. You got to be that Monday morning. You really got to, you know, maximize things. The vast majority of the times that I've made more than 600 miles, a lot of that was driven during the night, and that happens because you just don't have the traffic. You may have some construction, you know, road closures where you have to kind of go around. They shut the road down to do construction at night because it don't have that traffic. Also, you planning around big cities, okay? So if I'm going through, you know, I'm Texas regional, so if I'm going to drive through Houston, Dallas, Austin, I'm not driving through those at specific times of the day, okay? And even if you did 635 and you looped around Dallas, you still going to be in bumper-to-bumper traffic. You follow me? These things are going to modify your thought process on your logic that you only want to drive during the day. It's going to be a problem in depending on where you are. So don't box yourself in, okay, thinking that you know, you're going to run on solar power. You know, I don't want to be discouraging, but I am going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, hey man, well, you out here, you do what you got to do to make it happen. And, you know, I don't personally like driving at night because I don't like the oncoming headlights. And man, something about these F-250s, the new ones, even F-150s, any of the F-Series trucks, the new ones, man, those headlights are just like crazy. It's like they're on high beam all the time. And it just may be that my eyes, as I'm, you know, getting wiser, my eyes are a little more sensitive at night. But, you know, they have up here. I have some those glasses you put on, so I drive at night, look like I'm 90 years old, you know. But I'm gonna drive at night if I believe that I need to do that, to be on time, and I have the DOT time, and that's the way your DOT clock rides, you know. So I hope I give you some food for thought, and hopefully it'll help a lot of you other guys too. Just plan your trip, and don't always believe that running on solar power is the only way to do it, because there's other ways you can get it done. It's not hard. And if you start driving at night, other than the critters running out in front of you, stuff like that, deer strikes and stuff, you know, and like I said, those headlights, man, they get me. I've never hit a deer, but I've been blinded every night that I drive this truck. So but I still drive at night if I need to get there. Night is the way to go. Anyways, I appreciate your question there, Mr. Jeff Daly. If I can help you out again, let me know. I appreciate the question. Anyway, till I see you again, deliver undistracted. Here's your boot.